I have a 2005 Lexus ES330 here. Concern is vehicle's not starting. Thinks it needs a starter. This is what it sounds like. Sounds like probably the Bendix in it, but I'm going to mark the flywheel, or I mean not the flywheel, the crank pulley on, just make sure that it's not a deal that the timing belt broke and the engine spinning fast. But it sounds like more like the Bendix is just engaging and not engaging the starter motor. But need to make sure the engine's not turning on the bottom. Not the best of angles there, but got mark of whiteout on there. Going to go ahead and operate the starter there and see if the vehicle does not turn the engine, which I think is what was happening. Looks like it did not move at all, so I'm going to pull the starter out and see what's going on with it. Got a nice toasty summer day here, so I'll kind of try and stay out of the light of the starter on it. But this is the old one out, and I'm going to go ahead and operate it remotely. And that one is working, so it might have been bound up when I take it to look at the flywheel. Here we have the reman starter on it. I didn't see anything wrong with the flywheel, so I'm going to go ahead and probably just put the starter in and see what happens with it. Go ahead and... That one is definitely quieter, so go ahead and put that one in and see what happens. I'll try the old one more time, see if I can get it act up out of the vehicle. Acting up, but it sure is awfully noisy. So, like I said, I'll put the reman in, see what it does. If it starts up, we'll call it good. Okay, tied in with the starter. Have the key off. Gonna try it without the ignition, so I don't set any check engine light stuff. Just make sure everything's working good here. Using the remote starter. See, now we are turning, so that is what it sounds like, and that's a wonderful thing because we don't have a low compression. This does have a timing belt indicator, so if you have timing belts, you want to make sure you check your mileage and see when they're done or when they're due. Not so nice when they break, and if they're interference, it causes a lot of damage and costs a lot more money to fix. But this one here, going to finish hooking it up, and as long as the ignition feed is good, we should be repaired. Any electrical repairs, I like to do a battery starting charging test. Have a little Autel that does a real good job on that. Everything tests good on this afterwards, and here's the final verification. Okay, I have the starter in and actually did a verification test, but this is just so everybody else can kind of hear what it sounds like normally starting. Going there, 800 RPM roughly, smidge under. Idling good after it had an initial turn on that. Not any real warning lights per se on it, other maintenance required. Looks like it's due for oil service based on the mileage. Little red things, seatbelt, and then also the doors open kind of thing on that. But started a few times. I'll start it one more time so you can hear it. Usually when I put a new starter in, I like to start it about 10 times in a row, make sure it's good on that. But everything looks good here, so there must have been something where it just wasn't quite right in the old one, not engaging the starter fully, and just not engaging into the engine to go and crank it over. So we're all fixed up. Thanks for watching.